Welcome back, Rare Coins Collections, coin enthusiasts. Today, we have something truly exciting to talk about, the 2005 US dime with the P Mint mark. This coin may seem small at first glance, but it holds a lot more value than you might think. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone interested in learning more about valuable coins, you'll want to stick around to hear about why this dime is so special. We'll cover everything from its key features, the errors to watch out for, why it's so valuable, and how to spot one in your own collection. Let's start with some background on the 2005 US dime. The dime, worth just 10 cents, is one of the most iconic coins in US history, featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. The 2005 dime, minted at the Philadelphia Mint with the P Mint mark, is part of a regular series of dimes that have been produced for decades. However, this particular coin is highly prized by collectors, and for some very good reasons. One of the key features of the 2005 P dime is its design. On the obverse, we see the classic portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, which has been featured on the dime since 1946. But what makes this coin stand out from other dimes is the unique year it was minted and the potential errors that can drastically increase its value. The reverse side features the traditional design of a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, representing liberty, peace, and strength, symbols that give this coin a deep connection to American values. So, why is this 2005 P Mint mark dime considered valuable? In general, the value of a coin depends on several factors, including rarity, demand, and condition. The 2005 P dime, like most coins from this period, was minted in relatively large numbers, so finding one in circulation is not especially rare. However, what makes it particularly interesting for collectors is the potential for errors that can happen during the minting process. Yes, errors can turn a regular coin into a highly coveted treasure. Now, let's talk about those errors. One of the most valuable errors to look for in the 2005 P dime is the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the same die, creating a blurry or doubled design on the coin. If you look closely at the details of the coin, you may notice that parts of the design, such as the lettering, the date, or even the outline of Roosevelt's portrait, appear duplicated or blurry. These errors are relatively rare but can increase the value of a dime significantly. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is improperly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be stamped off-center. In some cases, the design could be cut off entirely on one side of the coin, making it visually striking and unique. Off-center strikes are also highly valued by collectors because they represent a mistake during minting, and mistakes make rare treasures. There is also the possibility of a clash die error, which occurs when two dies collide during the minting process. This results in parts of the design being imprinted onto the other side of the coin. For example, you might see part of Roosevelt's profile or other design features that are out of place or overlapping. These types of errors are highly collectible and can drive up the price of a coin considerably. But here's the real kicker: why is this coin so valuable? It all boils down to the rarity and demand for error coins, the condition of the coin, and the fact that the 2005 P Mint mark dime is a part of American numismatic history. The more pristine the condition of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Dimes that are well preserved, free from scratches or discoloration, are in high demand among collectors who are looking to complete their collections with high-quality pieces. And of course, when you add an error into the mix, it creates the perfect storm for a coin that could be worth a small fortune. So, how much can a 2005 P Mint mark dime be worth? Well, if you happen to find one of these error coins, the value could range from $2,700 to $55,000. Yes, you read that correctly. A single dime could be worth thousands of dollars. The more rare the error, and the better the condition of the coin, the higher the value. These dimes might be small, but their potential worth is anything but. Now, let's talk about how you can spot a 2005 P Mint mark dime that's valuable. The first step is to check the mint mark. Flip the dime over and look for the P mint mark, located on the reverse side near the bottom, under the olive branch. If you see this mint mark, you know you've got a coin from the Philadelphia Mint. From there, it's time to inspect the coin more closely for any signs of errors. Start by examining the design carefully for any signs of doubling. Look at the date, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the portrait of Roosevelt himself. If you notice any blurry or doubled features, you may have found yourself a double die error, which is highly valuable. Next, check the alignment of the design. If the image seems off-center or cut off on one side, then you may have found an off-center strike error. Finally, if you notice any strange marks or overlapping designs on the coin, this could be a result of a clash die error. In addition to checking for errors, you also want to consider the overall condition of the coin. Coins in excellent condition, free from scratches, dents, and discoloration, are much more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher, mint state, are especially sought after by collectors. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin or a dime with an error? Or maybe you found a coin that you thought might be worth something but weren't sure? Share your stories and thoughts with me in the comments below. I'd love to know what rare finds you've encountered, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future video about valuable coins, tips for coin hunting, and everything you need to know about building your own collection. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing coins from the 20th century, the 1999 P Mint Mark US dime. It may be small, but this dime holds great value, especially for those who know what to look for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your coin hunting journey, this video is packed with useful insights on why the 1999 P dime is so valuable, how to spot rare errors, and what makes it such a sought-after treasure in the world of numismatics. Let's first talk about the 1999 P dime's design. Like most dimes minted since 1946, this coin features the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, facing left. This design is iconic, as it honors Roosevelt's legacy and his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. On the reverse side, we see the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. It's a timeless design that has remained relatively unchanged for decades. Now, let's focus on the 1999 P Mint Mark dime. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where these dimes were produced. In 1999, millions of dimes were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and they were circulated widely. However, while it may seem like these dimes are everywhere, the 1999 P Mint Mark dime holds some surprises for those who are willing to search a bit closer. What makes this dime so valuable is not only its historical significance but also the potential for errors. Error coins are incredibly desirable among collectors, and the 1999 P dime is no exception. There are a few specific errors that can make this coin far more valuable than face value, and they're what you should be on the lookout for if you're lucky enough to come across one of these coins. One of the most notable errors in the 1999 P dime is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the same die, resulting in a blurry or doubled design. If you look closely at the features on the coin, particularly the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," you may notice that they appear doubled or blurred. This doubling effect can occur in different places on the coin, and some double die errors are much more pronounced than others. If you happen to find a 1999 P dime with this error, it could be worth a lot more than its face value. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not perfectly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that is shifted or cut off on one side. Sometimes you'll see part of the coin's design missing, or the image may appear at a slight angle. Off-center strikes are rarer than standard coins, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. If you find a 1999 P dime with this error, you could be holding onto something very valuable. Additionally, there is the possibility of a clash die error. This happens when two dies collide during the minting process, causing parts of the design to transfer onto the opposite side of the coin. You might find a small portion of Roosevelt's portrait or other elements of the coin's design imprinted onto the reverse side, which makes it a unique and highly collectible piece. Now that we know the errors to look for, let's talk about why the 1999 P dime is so valuable. In general, error coins are worth more than regular coins because they are rare and unique. When a mistake happens during the minting process, only a small number of coins are affected, making those coins highly desirable to collectors. Error coins are also fascinating because they represent a piece of history, a mistake that's become a collectible treasure. In addition to the errors, the condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. If you find a 1999 P dime that is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows little to no signs of wear, its value can be significantly higher than a coin that has been used and worn down. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins in pristine condition, and the 1999 P dime is no exception. The better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. So, how much can a 1999 P mint mark dime be worth? On average, a 1999 P dime in good condition is worth only a few cents, but if you find one with an error or in excellent condition, it can fetch a much higher price. In fact, some of these dimes have been sold for as much as $2,700 to $53,000. That's right, this seemingly small coin could be worth a small fortune, especially if it has one of those rare errors or is in mint condition. If you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1999 P dime, here's a quick checklist. First, flip the coin over and check the mint mark. You should see the letter P beneath the torch on the reverse side, which indicates it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Once you've confirmed the mint mark, examine the coin closely for any signs of errors. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to look for doubled designs, blurry text, or any off-center strikes. Also, make sure the coin is in good condition. Coins that are in uncirculated or near mint condition are always more valuable. To wrap things up, let's hear from you. Have you ever found a 1999 P dime or another coin with an error? Maybe you've come across a coin that you thought was valuable but weren't sure? Today, we're diving into one of the more intriguing and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1967 P mint mark US dime. At first glance, this dime might seem like just another coin in your collection or possibly one you'd find in your pocket change. But there's a lot more to this 1967 dime than meets the eye, especially if you know where to look. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newbie, this video will show you why the 1967 P dime could be worth a lot more than just 10 cents. Let's start by taking a closer look at the key features of this coin. The 1967 dime, like all dimes produced from 1946 onward, features Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, the front side, of the coin. Roosevelt's image has been featured on dimes since 1946, honoring his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. It's a design that has stood the test of time and remains one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. On the reverse, the back side, of the 1967 dime, we see the traditional elements of the coin's design: a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, three ideals central to American identity. But despite its common appearance, the 1967 P dime has some characteristics that set it apart and make it especially interesting to coin collectors. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. The P mint mark on this dime indicates that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This is important because, in 1967, the Philadelphia Mint produced a significant number of dimes, and that means finding a 1967 dime isn't exactly rare. However, what makes this coin so desirable is not only its history but also the potential for errors that can increase its value. So, what errors should you be looking for when inspecting a 1967 P dime? As with many coins, errors that occur during the minting process can make a coin far more valuable than one that's perfectly struck. The first and most notable error to look for on the 1967 P dime is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the same die, which can result in parts of the design being duplicated or blurred. If you take a close look at the date, the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or even Roosevelt's portrait, you may notice some doubling, especially on the lettering. This doubling effect is a clear sign that the coin is a double die error, and error coins like this are extremely valuable to collectors. Another error that might increase the value of the 1967 P dime is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that struck off-center. You might notice that part of the design is cut off, or the coin might appear skewed or tilted. An off-center strike is a rarer minting error, and these types of coins are highly sought after by collectors. And there's another error that collectors look for called a clashed die error. This occurs when two dies collide during the minting process, transferring part of the design from one die onto the opposite side of the coin. In the case of the 1967 dime, you might notice Roosevelt's image or part of the reverse design being imprinted onto the opposite side of the coin. If you find a 1967 P dime with a clashed die error, it could significantly increase the coin's value. You might be asking, why is this coin so valuable? Well, the simple answer is that error coins are inherently rarer than those produced correctly. When a minting mistake occurs, only a small number of coins are affected, which means that they become collectible treasures. Collectors value these mistakes because they represent a unique piece of history. The more pronounced the error, the more desirable the coin becomes. In fact, a 1967 P dime with an error could be worth far more than its original 10-cent value, especially if it's in good condition. Speaking of condition, the value of a 1967 P dime is also influenced by its grade. Coins in pristine condition, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration, are worth significantly more than coins that have been heavily circulated. If the coin is graded as MS-65, mint state, or higher, it's going to command a premium price. If your 1967 P dime shows minimal signs of wear and retains its original luster, it could be worth a small fortune. So, how much could your 1967 P dime be worth? Well, if you happen to find a 1967 P dime with an error or in excellent condition, it could be worth anywhere from $2,700 to $49,000. Yes, you read that correctly. A dime worth 10 cents could end up being worth thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and whether it has any errors. So, how do you spot a valuable 1967 P dime in your collection? First, make sure you check the mint mark. The P mint mark is located just beneath the torch on the reverse side, indicating that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Once you've confirmed the mint mark, it's time to start examining the coin for any potential errors. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to look for signs of doubling on the design, especially the date and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Also, look for any signs of an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned or cut off. Finally, check for any unusual imprints or overlapping designs, which could indicate a clashed die error. And finally, the big question: have you ever come across a 1967 P dime with an error, or do you have any rare coins in your collection? I'd love to hear your stories, so let me know in the comments below. Have you found a coin that ended up being worth more than you expected? Share your experiences with us, and let's keep the conversation going. Today's video, we'll be diving into a highly intriguing coin that might be hiding in your pocket change, the 1977 P mint mark US dime. At first glance, this dime might seem like just another common coin, but trust me, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin could be hiding some serious value, especially if you know what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1977 P dime. Let's begin by examining the key features of this dime. The design of the 1977 dime is the same as the one we've seen since 1946. Franklin D. Roosevelt graces the obverse side, the front of the coin. Roosevelt's image has been featured on dimes for decades, and it represents his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His likeness is timeless, and it's one of the most iconic portraits ever featured on U.S. currency. On the reverse of the coin, we see a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, all principles central to the American ethos. It's a design that's remained the same for many years, and while the design itself is familiar, the value of the coin can greatly vary, especially when you factor in the potential for errors. The 1977 P Mint Mark dime is an excellent example of a coin that may be worth much more than its face value if you know where to look. Now, let's take a closer look at the P Mint Mark. The P indicates that this dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. The interesting thing about the 1977 P dime is that while it was produced in high quantities, there are certain errors that can make a specific 1977 P dime far more valuable. That's right, errors, or mistakes during the minting process, can turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after collector's item. So, what exactly should you be looking for if you're hoping to find a valuable 1977 P dime? The first and most common error to keep an eye out for is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the same die, causing some parts of the design to appear doubled or blurry. When you inspect your 1977 P dime closely, pay attention to the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date. If any of these features appear doubled, you might be looking at a double die error, which can greatly increase the value of the coin. Double die errors are relatively rare, and when they occur, they make the coin much more desirable to collectors. Another important error to look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift. As a result, part of the design may be missing, or you might notice that the coin has an off-center appearance, with part of the image shifted or tilted. Off-center strikes are a relatively rare type of error, and coins with this defect tend to be highly sought after in the collector community. So, if you spot an off-center strike on a 1977 P dime, it could be worth much more than face value. Lastly, the clash die error is another possibility. This occurs when the dies that strike the coin collide with each other, causing parts of the design to appear on the opposite side of the coin. In the case of the 1977 P dime, you might notice portions of Roosevelt's portrait or parts of the reverse design imprinted onto the other side of the coin. A clash die error is an unusual and intriguing mistake, and it can add significant value to the coin, especially if the clash is noticeable and prominent. Now that we've covered the errors to look for, you might be wondering, why is the 1977 P dime so valuable? The answer lies in the rarity and uniqueness of error coins. When a mistake occurs during the minting process, only a small number of coins are affected. These error coins are rarer than the perfectly minted ones, making them more desirable to collectors. Since error coins like double dies, off-center strikes, and clash dies are not commonly found in circulation, collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. In addition to errors, the condition of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. If the 1977 P dime is in excellent, uncirculated condition, it will be worth far more than a heavily worn coin. Coins that have been well preserved, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, are highly prized by collectors. A pristine 1977 P dime could command a significantly higher price compared to one that has seen years of circulation. So, how much can the 1977 P dime be worth? A typical 1977 P dime is worth only 10 cents, but when you factor in the possibility of errors and its condition, the value can increase dramatically. In fact, a 1977 P dime with a noticeable error or in mint condition could be worth anywhere from $2,700 to $47,000. That's right, a simple dime, which is worth only 10 cents in circulation, could potentially net you a small fortune. If you're wondering how to spot a valuable 1977 P dime, here are a few tips. First, always look for the mint mark. The P mint mark is located beneath the torch on the reverse side of the coin. Once you've identified the mint mark, closely examine the coin for any errors. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check for doubled text, especially on the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," which are the most common spots for doubling. Also, look for any signs of an off-center strike, where part of the design may be missing, or if the coin is misaligned. Finally, check for a clash die error. Unusual imprints on the opposite side of the coin are a clear giveaway that you may have a rare piece in your hands. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 1977 P dime with an error, or have you come across any other valuable coins? What's the most valuable coin you've ever found in your collection? Drop your stories in the comments below, and let's talk about your coin hunting experiences. Today's video, we are going to take a deep dive into a specific coin that could be hiding right in your pocket change, the 2007 P Mint Mark US dime. You might think this is just another dime that's worth 10 cents, but you'd be surprised. This particular dime could be worth much more than you expect, especially if you know what to look for. From key features to mint errors, this video will give you all the details you need to know about why the 2007 P dime could be worth thousands of dollars. Let's jump right in. When it comes to the design of the 2007 P dime, it features the same iconic design that's been in place since 1946. On the obverse, the front side, we see the portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was chosen to appear on the dime following his death in 1945. Roosevelt's likeness is one of the most enduring images in U.S. coinage, representing his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the classic torch, olive branch, and oak branch design. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength and stability. This timeless design has been on the back of the dime for decades, and while it remains unchanged, it's still highly regarded for its symbolism and aesthetic. But here's the key point: in 2007, the Philadelphia Mint, which is responsible for minting dimes with the P Mint mark, produced millions of these coins. So, at first glance, the 2007 P dime may seem like just another standard coin. However, there are certain characteristics and errors that can make a 2007 P dime more valuable than its face value of 10 cents. Now, let's talk about the errors and what to look for. The first error to keep an eye out for is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die, leading to a blurry or doubled design. On the 2007 P dime, the areas most likely to show doubling are the date, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the rim of the coin. A double die error is one of the most sought-after types of minting errors, and it can significantly increase the value of a coin. If you see any signs of doubling in these areas, you may have a rare and valuable dime in your hands. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned properly during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off or shifted. If you notice that the design on your 2007 P dime appears slightly off-center, it's worth checking further. Off-center strikes are relatively rare and can be worth much more than a perfectly struck coin, especially if the misalignment is pronounced. There's also the possibility of a clash die error. This occurs when the coin dies collide during the minting process, leaving an impression of the opposite side of the coin on the same side. On the 2007 P dime, you might notice Roosevelt's portrait appearing on the reverse side, or vice versa. A clash die error is an intriguing and rare mistake, making coins with this error highly collectible and valuable. So, why is the 2007 P dime so valuable? The primary reason lies in the rarity of errors. While the 2007 P dime was minted in large quantities, coins with errors are much rarer. Errors like double die strikes, off-center strikes, and clash dies are not common, and these types of coins are highly sought after by collectors. The value of a 2007 P dime can also be influenced by its condition. Coins that are in mint condition, with no signs of wear or damage, are more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins with these types of errors are typically graded based on their appearance and quality. If the 2007 P dime is in excellent condition, especially if it's uncirculated and has retained its original shine and detail, it can command a premium price. A pristine example of a 2007 P dime with an error can fetch a price that far exceeds its original value. So, how much is the 2007 P dime worth? You might be wondering, how much could this coin really be worth? If you happen to find a 2007 P dime with a significant minting error or one that is in excellent condition, you could be looking at a value anywhere from $2,900 to $58,000. That's right, a dime that's worth only 10 cents in circulation could end up being worth thousands of dollars. It all depends on the condition and the rarity of the coin. Now, you're probably asking, how can I spot a valuable 2007 P dime? The first thing you should do is look for the mint mark. The P mint mark, which indicates that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, is located just below the torch on the reverse side. Once you've located the mint mark, it's time to check for any errors. You'll want to examine the coin closely for any doubling of the text, especially on the words, Liberty and, In God We Trust. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect the fine details of the coin, as errors can often be difficult to spot with the naked eye. Next, look for any signs of an off-center strike. If the design appears misaligned, with part of the coin's image cut off, you may have an off-center strike error. Finally, keep an eye out for a clash die error, where part of the opposite side of the coin appears on the same side. These types of errors are highly collectible and can add significant value to your coin. Before we end today's video, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a 2007 P dime with an error? Or do you have a favorite coin in your collection that turned out to be worth more than you thought? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Let's share our experiences and keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more valuable coin tips and discoveries. Remember, the next time you come across a 2007 P dime, take a closer look. It could be worth anywhere from $2,900 to $58,000. Keep searching and happy collecting.